Alright, Ronan MMA, welcome back to the channel. This is going to be an early prediction video for the newly added fight to UFC 285, I believe, with Mateusz Gamrot and Jalin Turner. Now, Jalin Turner was supposed to be fighting Dan Hooker, but if you were watching UFC 284, you'd know that Dan Hooker broke his hand or his wrist or his arm or whatever it was, has a cast on, and is no longer able to fight. Mateusz Gamrot has been put in his place, despite everybody want the real fight that should have happened, right? The one that everybody wanted was Drew Dober. That's okay, though. That's okay. Mateusz Gamrot, it is kind of a strange fight, actually, but we're going to get to all that in a minute. Please like and subscribe. We've hit 100 recently. Damn, dude. So thank you very much. I greatly appreciate all of you who are hitting the subscribe button, and I'm going to ask the people that haven't to do so, and I'm going to thank you in advance. So thank you very much. So don't be the kind of guy that doesn't do the thing that he's already been thanked for, and let's get into it, okay? This is kind of, to me, Jalin Turner versus Mateusz Gamrot. This is a weird matchup for Mateusz Gamrot. I understand Mateusz Gamrot is coming off of a loss, but that loss was to Beneil Dariush, and he recently has a win over Armin Sarukian, who is like looking fantastic as of late, and I know that that was somewhat of a controversial decision. There are people out there that think that Armin Sarukian deserved rather to get the nod. Either way, the level of competition that Mateusz Gamrot has been facing is leagues and leagues above what Jalin Turner has been facing. Now, Jalin Turner has looked really good as of late. I would argue that in large part is due to the competition he has been facing, and that's not to say that the competition he has been facing are not good I'm not saying that Brad Riddell's not a good fighter. What I'm saying is that stylistically and also the body style, like body shape, Jalin Turner, it seems, has had some pretty favorable matchups as of late, and while he's looking incredible, he's looking against guys that a lot of men that have now entered into the top 15, top 10 of the lightweight division have also been able to look very good against. Obviously, Rafael Fiziev has that beautiful knockout of Brad Riddell, which, by the way, the striking department is Brad Riddell's whole game. So that just shows you the level of striking that Rafael Fiziev possesses, because Brad Riddell was a kickboxer before turning to mixed martial arts. Yeah, man, this one kind of scares me for Jalin Turner. He's been looking very good as of late, as I said, but if he was fighting Dan Hooker here, I probably would have picked him, if I'm being honest, just because Dan Hooker has been Dan Hooker lately, man, and, you know, I mean, look, so he's got TKO over Jamie Mullarkey. That's not a bad win, man. That's especially after what we saw Jamie Mullarkey do to that Prado guy. I wish that Jamie Mullarkey would have pushed for a finish. He ended up closing as a huge favorite. That was a tough out for your first fight in the UFC, but he stuck to a game plan and stayed, whatever. But on this recent streak, right, he's got Josh Kulabayo, who we saw get a good win in Perth, but, and then he gets Brock Weaver. I mean, geez, talk about, like a diversity hire. Honestly, dude, that was, what's that called, what they do in universities, like, where they just give people slots that probably shouldn't be there because of the color of their skin. Damn, why can't I think of the word? That's probably a good thing, dude, because politics is just toxic. So, but Brock Weaver, obviously, for those of you who don't know, was a Native American, and that was like the whole thing when he was on the, I believe he came up through the Contender Series, first Native American fighter to enter the UFC and all that, and then he didn't even get a finish on his Contender Series fight, which, I mean, is a large part of the criteria, or at least to show complete and utter domination. He didn't do that. He was just a fun and entertaining character. Dana White gave him a contract. I don't think he got a single win in the UFC, and now he's doing something else, which is unfortunate, because he was a cool looking dude. And but yeah, I mean, that's not a huge win for Jalin Turner there. And then he got Euros Medic. Okay, and then Jamie Mullarkey and Brad Riddell are his most recent wins. Whereas when you look at Mateusz Gamrot's record, man, it's like the dude has fought way better competition, and he has never been finished. And I have that on the thumbnail, but what I meant more specifically is I don't, man, Jalin Turner might be able to knock him out, but if Armin Sarukian, and I know that the body shapes are different and the style of striking is going to be different, but I just don't see Jalin Turner knocking Mateusz Gamrot out. So then I thought, well, the only way I could see him winning, because I also don't see Jalin Turner, outpointing him to a decision in any way, would be Jalin Turner getting like a crazy sub because of the way his body's built and whatnot, like wrapping up a guillotine or something like that. But then you look at who, dude, I mean, come on. Before his loss to Beneil Dariush, the guy, Armin Sarukian decision, Carlos Diego Ferreira, he TKO'd him. So that Carlos Diego Ferreira is a dangerous submission threat. Beneil Dariush is a dangerous submission threat. Like, people don't really think of it because he has really fun fights and shit like that, but he ADCC world champion, I'm pretty sure at one point. Guram Kutteladze is his last loss, split a bit, which was in 2020, so we're talking 3 years ago. But he's never been finished. He's fought very good competition, especially as of late, and I don't see Jalin Turner getting a finish here. Now, I know his body is crazy, and he could just like hop on Jalin Turner or hop on Mateusz Gamrot and pull something off, or throw up a triangle if Mateusz Gamrot starts going for takedowns or something like that. Just anytime you got a guy with long limbs who's willing to attack submissions, there are a few submissions that you really got to look out for. I don't think Mateusz Gamrot, though, is so unexperienced that he's not going to be aware of that, and he's not going to be totally and completely prepared for those situations. With that being said, though, I don't know if I see Mateusz Gamrot getting a finish here. He might be able to in the later rounds. I shouldn't say that he won't. I'm not gonna, but I just don't think he will. I think what will most likely happen is it end up being like a dominant decision type thing, But it's a tricky one, man. Jalin Turner, this is kind of shitty for him, because while hardcore fans know, who Mateusz Gamrot is, Dan Hooker, I think overall is a bigger name. Even though a win over Mateusz Gamrot would be way, 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 way more impressive. Like, Dan Hooker's got a big name. People tune in to watch him fight because of all the crazy fights that he's had. And I personally think that Jalin Turner would have been able to beat Dan Hooker. That's just me, though. So he's kind of getting screwed here, man, in a sense. I mean, he probably doesn't think that, because he reckons he could beat him, because otherwise you shouldn't be a fighter, right? If you don't think you can beat your competition, you probably shouldn't be a fighter. But and it's a big opportunity for him, because if he goes in there and gets a crazy win and upsets him, then he's like, what, top 5? I don't know where Mateusz Gamrot's ranked right now, maybe 6 or 7. I mean, that would be a big jump for Jalin Turner. And in fairness, too, Mateusz Gamrot's going to be taking this one kind of on short notice. I really want to see him rematch between him and Armin Sarukian. That fight was so close. I didn't have a problem with the decision live. I would need to go back and rewatch it, though, to make a decision. But he's good, man. Mateusz Gamrot's good. And Jalin Turner's good too. And Jalin Turner's dangerous. Like, Jalin Turner, I've said this in a video before, but Jalin Turner is who Terrence McKinney wishes he was. And yeah, man, 6'3", I think he is, for 155. But that is nuts. It's nuts. And who knows, man? Maybe Guram Kutteladze has never fought a 6'3" lightweight before, and maybe this is gonna be a challenge for him, but I don't think so. Let me know what you guys think about this fight, who you guys think is going to win. This, to me, is honestly like a bigger risk for Gamrot than it is for Jalin Turner, because if Gamrot goes out there and loses, I mean, geez, dude, that don't look good. And then you're going to get passed up in the rankings by a guy who you beat. So, I mean, dude, that Beneil Dariush performance was incredible. Like, are you kidding me? I picked Beneil Dariush to win when he was at a plus 35, and he won me some money. It was cool. And it was also nice to see, because I don't want to see him get screwed over before he gets his chance, like, like Tony Ferguson or whatever. Just keeps getting passed up on the title, and then eventually he's too old, and then it's done deal. But yeah, I think that Mateusz Gamrot probably gets this one done by decision. I think that the short notice factors in my decision on calling it a decision rather than a finish. But Jalin Turner could always upset us with some crazy submission or something. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And thank you very much in advance for your subscription. I apologize if my videos were not as high energy as normal. First of all, these are not, it is what it is, man. I'm tired today, so tomorrow's will be better, or maybe even later today. We'll see. We'll see what happens throughout the day. But anyways, like and subscribe. See you later. Bye-bye.